Hi, I'm Rich Fink with the Western Loudon Art and Studio Tour, and I have the pleasure today of interviewing Penny Hauffe. And Penny, so how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks, Rich. It's a pleasure to be here. And what can I say except that this is more fun than a basket of chickens?
Well, yeah, and they are fun. Those chickens
They
are
are.
fun. So let's start off with, can you tell me something about your artistic journey?
Oh, yeah, sure. It was one of those things where I was always interested in art. As a little kid, my mother assures me that I painted shoes on my feet because I don't know about you, but I don't think anyone as a kid, maybe even as an adult, likes wearing shoes. So I painted shoes on my feet. I've also painted like little clothings on my toy bunnies and stuff like that. So there's been a long history of frivolous painting.
Did did you sell those feet that you had painted?
I kept those feet. They're the same ones I'm using now. They're a little decrepit. I don't know what kind of price I could get for them.
Okay. Now look, this is a question I already know the answer to because normally I ask
You're
them,
clairvoyant.
have you worked with other mediums and stuff? But I know you have worked with so many different mediums. You've worked with oils and watercolors as well as um, mixed media and stuff, right? So where are you now um, in your journey here? I mean, what is your favorite type of media that you
I'm
work
so
with?
glad you asked me that, Rich, because it's been on my mind, especially during this time when we have what's called increased leisure time.
Yes.
Well, especially if you don't still have a full-time job or jobs have dried up a little. So the creative imagination has gone bananas. So I've tried all kinds of things with acrylic panels, which is to say plexiglass, um, resin, faux gold leaf, all kinds of sculptural materials. But right now, and I just had a chalk art weekend, which was a lot of fun. At the stay-at-home chalk art through Reston Public Art. But now I'm excited about video because I just figured out how to. I just got some free video editing software, and I'm like, wait, you can separate the sound from the picture. This was news to me. I'm sorry, Rich, but it was news to me. So now I'm taking video of all kinds of birds and insects, and I'm mismatching their sound. So I've got like jackhammer for there's a hummingbird sitting on a branch, and he's like preening his feathers, and he goes uh. So like comedy is still, whimsy and comedy are still central themes, but the media is going where it's going,
All over the place, for
all
instance.
over the shop.
Okay. That's
Special.
not unexpected coming from the two of you, from the two of
Yes.
you. Yes. Great, great. So, where do you get your inspiration, though? I mean, obviously you've gotten into doing some video now and trying to do some comedy based upon that, which is fabulous. But where pick a time in your life and tell me how you weren't expecting something, but whether you saw it or whether it was somebody that talked to you or whatever, all of a sudden you said, "Hey, wait, that I like that," and you moved into one of the crazy ways that your mind does to create new art.
Thank you for that question. I really find that my basic inspiration comes from, like I think a lot of people, walking the dog, right? So like what I mean by that is I'll be outside walking the dog and I'll see something. What I really mean is observation to me is the key. So I try to take the time. All the little key words like be in the moment and all that stuff. For me, that means try to erase all the other chaos that's going on in my head, try to really look at the things around me, and the weirdest things inspire. So for instance, early this spring, I was walking the dog, and dog, you know, dog.
Dog.
Dog. And I noticed that the path I was on had obviously, there'd been freezing and then thawing. And the net result was that the rocks that were in the path had had a perfect outline, a little crevasse all the way around. Like it was perfectly the rock shape, because I guess that the frozen ground had pushed the rock up, and then when it melted, that the rock had settled down into this perfect rock-sized crater. And to me, that was like really, I don't know, I just thought, wow, wouldn't that be, who cares, right? But for me, that was like visually stimulating, and I thought, okay, I want to make that, but I want to make that out of different stuff. So I experimented in a variety of ways. I didn't bring any of them in my immediate surroundings to share with you. I've got other things here, like there's no, you know, there's no explaining that, except that bunny was in our yard, but now it's in a tweed jacket. Anyway, so experimenting with different
Bunnies
media.
love tweed. They
They
just
do
do.
not. See, this is a well-known fact, as you obviously know this already. So let me go back to the rock in the mud. So then I tried that with a homemade. I made a pebble out of plaster of Paris, and I put it in a faux gold leaf indented canvas, and I thought, ooh, that kind of gets me where I was going. But really, the picture in my mind was of the mud being more soft. So I tried a plaster of Paris base, and I poured paint onto pebbles, let them dry, and sat them in the plaster while it was drying. And that was really fun. It really gave good textures and so on. But also, I think that there's, as well as being sort of inspired by particular observations, I think there's always this quest in my mind to put disparate things together. So an example I have of this is my friend Harriet the hedgehog. I love all kinds of animals. I mean, and I'm always trying to jam them in paintings somehow, gently. But anyway, Harriet, I thought, you know what a hedgehog reminds me of is like one of those things you put in the bottom of the vase and you stick flowers in. I think it's called a frog or something like that, a flower arranging frog. Anyway, so I thought that's what a hedgehog looks like to me, like one of those things you put flowers in. So Harriet the hedgehog. So the idea is that Harriet the hedgehog what's the title? It's a long and involved title. Sometimes they are. In a fit of self-proclaimed genius, creates her own bonnet for the Easter parade.
Well, there you go. She should be proud of that.
She is very proud, although she looks perpetually startled, but I think that's a hedgehog thing.
It's a hedgehog.
I'm not worried. Yeah. So I always think to myself, like somehow these weird combinations of things, like a bunny in the pocket and the hedgehog with the flowers stuck to her quills. Yeah, it's kind of goofy. I guess the professional word that I like to use is whimsical.
Whimsical, yeah.
But yeah, but you know, it's meant to put a smile on someone's face, and I'm not sure. I know that art is used for many things to bring strong emotion and to be thought provoking, and there are many sort of like ideals that art is meant to rise to. But for me, goodness, if I'm making somebody laugh just for a second, golden.
Yes. we all need a laugh.
We all need a laugh.
Especially now. Especially.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Yes. And Harriet makes me laugh. So
I'm so glad.
Yes.
But you know, there are technical aspects to making something like Harriet, and I think that's really where my training in illustration comes in. I was trained at the Gemini School of Illustration, which was in a little town called Thatcham in Berkshire, home of the famous phrase, "Get off my land." They're very sort of territorial in Berkshire. Anyway, I shouldn't say that. They're very nice, actually. But anyway, but what the training taught me was to the capacity to take different things and make them look like they exist in the same space. So that's why I like taking like the hedgehog reference and then going out and picking flowers from my from the yard and sticking them in a vase and taking that photo, making sure the light was coming from the same direction, and then kind of making it work on the canvas. So that's all the sort of the training, the skills behind the whimsy.
Yeah, well, you are an expert at it. You definitely are. So, are you ready to see your three images and
I
discuss?
am. Lay it on me.
Okay. Okay, I love all of these. I just have to tell you, because of the whimsy and the humor, the channel of humor that goes through each of them. And
Thank you.
what is your favorite out of these?
I think it's the one I laughingly call polychrome. So that's the zebra image. And poly is obviously the one with all the colorful stripes. I think
Yes.
it's my favorite because it's more like it was more conceptual than the other two, even though I realized that's a green owl with pink eyes, and the donkey is like it with sort of hilarious perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, polychrome was really fun. I took the zebra photos in Namibia when Phil and I went there to visit my long ago homeland where I was born. And I wasn't born among zebra, but close enough. But anyway, so we were out looking at animals in the Atasha Pan, and I took a bunch of zebra photos. And then I picked sort of a grouping that I liked, and I'm not sure that Polly wasn't from another photo. I think it's been a little while since I painted that, but I probably popped her in from a different reference. And then I know this about myself. Keeping with neutral colors, neutral-ish, subtle colors, not really my bag.
Okay.
So I thought, okay, so I want to do these zebra. I love zebra. I love stripes. Stripes are so bold. It's all so fabulous. But I would really like to bring something unique to this painting. And so I decided, yeah, let's put all the colors, all the bright, bold gem tones that I can onto one of the zebras. And I picked the one in front to do this to. I had almost picked the one in the middle. And then I thought, no, the one in front has a really cheeky look, like, yeah,
Yeah.
rainbow colors, that's me. So that's how that one went.
Well, that's
The
great. I have seen this live, for lack of a better word, and to me, and this just goes to show you how we interpret things based upon where we lived and everything else. Because to me, and I've said this to people who have never seen it, and they have automatically laughed. So you've done that, because I've said it's this great herd of zebras, regular black and white zebras, but the one in front, all of the black stripes are like yipes stripes, beech nut stripes. It used to be this chewing gum that we had in the 60s that was all striped different colors and had this
Yes,
weird taste to it.
I love that. I love that. That's a perfect description. Sometimes I because I'm an LGBTQ advocate, I'm thinking to myself, that's my gay pride painting. I
Well,
love,
me
just bring
too.
all the colors and be who you are. Like that's sort of another thought behind that.
Uh-huh. Well, so shall we move on to another one?
Oh yeah, yeah. So the reason why there's a green owl with red eyes or pink eyes is because there was a pink owl with green eyes and a blue owl with orange eyes and an orange owl with blue eyes. And the reason for that is that I just wanted to play around with complementary colors. And
Uh-huh.
once again, I have actually painted owls, owl colors,
Uh-huh.
but I wanted to do something a little bit different. But I just thought, yeah, blue dog, green owl, yeah, bring it. And
Yeah,
then the
well,
donkey.
yeah, I mean, what impressed me most about this, of course, is the eyes. And yeah, you can, I'm somewhat colorblind, so you could have told me that this wasn't a green owl. Like,
Oh,
okay, no, it's
I
fine.
forgot that, Rich. Now that you say it, I remember
What?
that. Oh, so I forgot that
No, it's
briefly, but
fine.
now I
It's
remember.
fine. I hope one day I'll forget it. So what really got me of this was not even the colors, of course, but the look in the eye. It was like the owl, and I just, when I looked at this, I imagined him saying, "What are you looking at?" That type of thing.
Yeah.
It really
Who
has that
are you
look.
looking at? Yeah, they all have that look about them, don't they? They seem very
Yeah.
sort of sure of themselves and kind of authoritative somehow.
Yes.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
probably was
Yeah.
saying that.
Yeah. Yeah. Now let's get to. I have to ask you, since your hubby is a great photographer. Was this
Yes.
taken with a really close up picture, and that's what you started on, or?
So Phil is a great photographer. Thank you. But as it happens, this donkey, who I have sort of in my mind renamed Carrot, because I
Good name.
imagine they like carrots. I don't have a donkey, but this donkey original photo reference was taken by my friend Becky Shore, who runs Wildlife Ambassadors. And I think she shared it on Facebook, and I wrote right away and I said, Becky, I love your donkey. I love your donkey. Can I use this photo to make a painting? And she graciously said yes. And so I made the painting, and then I sent her a print of it. So she has this self same image on her wall somewhere.
Well, that's great. That's great. It's very comical. It's very.
Thank
It's wonderful. It's wonderful, really. Yeah.
you.
Yeah. They're great. They're all great, Penny. And so
Thank you.
I'm gonna mix us out of here in just a second. Okay, there you are, and we're back, and we're back.
Your claviritude knows no bounds.
No bounds. Okay, what I want you to do is, there's so many people out there that love this type of stuff, and they would like to see more of your work. And of course, hopefully, and I would think definitely, buy some of it from you. So if you can give me your connections to.
I would love that. So for the first and primary connection to me, go to pennypaint.com, and that's my main website. I also, encouraged by our dear friend Carolyn Cutchell, have resumed from the distant ashes my Etsy store. So I'm on
Ah,
Etsy as well. I only have 15 artworks on there right now, but they're all smaller ones that can easily be shipped. And my Etsy store is, if you search Penny Hauffe, you'll find me on Etsy. And you can find me on Facebook under the name Penny Hauffe. And I regularly post sort of my latest paintings on Facebook just because it's quick and easy to do. And as far as like upcoming shows go, everything's a little bit up in the air, but one of the um, one of the nonprofits that I like to raise money for is called Sadie Smile Foundation. And what we're hoping to do this year, as we did last year, was to have a fancy get together where I do a silent auction of 10 of my paintings, and Sadie Smile Foundation, which raises money for Smile Train, takes half the profits and puts it towards their annual fundraising.
oh, well, that's great. That's
It's
terrific.
I don't have a particularly a focus right now, except to incorporate more animals into my artwork. I love doing landscapes, and I have done my fair share of people portraiture. but the animals to me are, I don't know, what keep me coming back. So I'm sort of building on that. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Good, good. All right. Well, thank you very much for allowing me to interview today, and please stay please stay safe and healthy. And my best to Phil.
You too, and thanks so much for doing this. I'm delighted that the studio tour has a life this year. Not the life that we imagined, but a vibrant one nevertheless. And we'll be back in 2021.
Sounds great.
Real life.
All right. You take care.
You too, Rich. And say hi to Leanne for me.
Oh, I will.